of politics that has over time felt slighted by the referee, felt slighted by the ways that we have conducted our elections. And Mr. Chairman, you will forgive me if sometimes we have come off as that side of politics that does not trust the referee. It is not because of anything with you or with IEBC, it is because of the long journey that my presidential candidate, Raila Amolo Odinga, and his deputy have walked on reforms and liberating this country and its democratic space. I therefore want to read a speech written here by the Right Honorable Raila Odinga that then shares his thoughts with this conference today. And I read, "Ladies and gentlemen, let me state from the onset that as a presidential candidate and a leader of the largest conglomeration of parties that form the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya party, I am deeply committed to doing everything within my power to ensure that the August election will be as peaceful as possible." This is a commitment I have given to Kenya. This is a commitment I give to Africa, and indeed, this is a commitment I give to the international community. As a foot soldier for democracy and one who has paid a huge price in the struggle for a free and democratic nation, I have a deep and unwavering commitment to ensure that democracy, as expressed through elections, takes deep roots in our country. Going into this election, I would do nothing that can jeopardize this election. I will do nothing that will jeopardize Kenya's march towards a greater democratization of this nation. This is a commitment I have made before all of you. It is a commitment that I am also prepared to keep at all costs. Since the onset of multi-party election in 1992, our contests have been violent and deadly. Lives and properties have been lost. The economy has been battered by violence that is related to elections. The result has been that after every election, we emerge sadder and poorer. We start afresh after every election. We bury our loved ones during every election, and especially with the 2022 election, we remember with the 2022 election, we are hoping that this will be a story of the past. The election of 2022 must be different. I'm determined to make it very, very different. My determination to make this election different does not begin with this conference. For me, it has been a journey of many years. It is the journey that has made us shake hands with His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta on March of 2018 to bring this country together and to work on our political systems that so often lead to violence, loss of lives and property. I'm determined to continue on that path of peace and unity and reconciliations. No lives, no property, no aspect will be witnessed. No setting up of one social class against another social class should be witnessed, or one faith against another, or one region against another. Kenya must go into this election as one nation and come out of it as one nation. I am sure my brother, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, would like to leave a legacy of a peaceful, efficient, and credible transition that carries the nation forward, not backwards. I'm determined to help make that ambition a reality. It would be a great win, not for him, but for Kenya and for the global community. As a party, we have had a number of concerns about the state of preparedness by the IEBC for this election. We have documented those concerns and shared them with the IEBC and the media. Our intention has never been to undermine the IEBC or to constructive criticism into the interest, or it has been to constructively criticize the process to improve the process for the benefit of the nation. Ours has been to help IEBC get its act together and conduct a free, fair, and credible election that will carry the country forward and cement Kenya's position as an emerging democracy on this continent. It is our hope, therefore, as Azimio la Umoja, that our concerns are constantly being reviewed and addressed by the IEBC, and that on the material day, everything that is required for the election to be seen as free and fair and credible will be in place. I only wish to underscore that a free and fair and credible election does not happen on the elections day. The process leading to the elections day is as important as the day itself, and it makes the election seem much more credible. I appeal to IEBC not to let Kenyans down. I appeal to institutions of this nation, the security agencies, the civil service, to stand up and be firm for our nation and our democracy. We owe it to our country. We owe it to ourselves. I welcome the interests that the international community has expressed in this election. It is an indicator of the high esteem in which our development partners hold Kenya as an anchor democracy and economy in this part of the world. It is an honor. I will do everything in my power to safeguard and reciprocate. In recent months, I have held discussions with leaders in Washington, D.C., London, Addis Ababa, and many countries. I've also met here in Nairobi with ambassadors and high commissioners of a number of countries on the issue of the upcoming elections. In all these meetings, I've expressed my hope that we will get through this election as peaceful as possible, and then we will get down to the critical work that beckons of carrying this nation forward. These commitments remain. We have so many things to fix for this nation. We do not want this election to linger. I appeal, therefore, as I conclude, to all Kenyans to embrace peace. Let's be hopeful for our nation. Let's emerge from the elections stronger and better, preferably with Raila Amolo Odinga as president. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you. I would like to encourage all presidential candidates that this workshop, this conference for 2 days will be dealing with all matters election. Please send your representatives or stay around, and it will be an enriching conference. Now I invite Professor George Wajackoyah, the presidential candidate for Roots Party.
chairman of IEBC. Before I speak, I would like to apologize for my voice because I've been in the mountain for almost 8 days. I was not even bitten by a mosquito. No stone was thrown against me, and there was no heckling. Your Excellencies, the European Commission, the UNDP, and the UN, the UK High Commissioner, the American Embassy present, and all the ambassadors and protocols observed, the religious leaders, as well as the presidential candidates or their representatives present, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, and to thank you very much for listening to a man who is so much ragged. A lot of people think that I'm crazy, but the Almighty God created me this way. I'll also take this opportunity to thank the British High Commission and the Americans who are present here for having given me an opportunity in exile for those many years that I stayed in UK and the US, and for those many years that I got the support from the British people as well as the American people, and for those many years that I stayed in those countries as a refugee, and for those many years that I learned a lot about peace and the coexistence of human beings. I would particularly take this opportunity to thank the universities that I went to in the UK, starting from the University of Wolverhampton, where I did my bachelor's degree, the University of London School of Oriental and African Studies, where I did my first master's, the University of Warwick, where I did a master's, the University of Westminster, where I did my legal practice course, and other universities to follow like Birkbeck and what have you. I also want to thank the Americans for allowing me to work very hard to join the University of Baltimore, where I did a Master's of Law in the laws of the US before I took the Washington, D.C. bar. Why am I taking this unconventional approach while addressing men and women of honor? The point that I'm trying to make here is that it has come to the realization of the many who may not have done their conjugal research that I am a British citizen. I wish I was, because Great Britain is a country that has really motivated most of us and African leaders, including the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, the late Kwame Nkrumah, to bring realization of realities and democracy in this part of the world. I'm a permanent resident in the UK, and I'm also a permanent resident in the US. So, notwithstanding, I made that very clear to those who have been speculating that I'm a British citizen, and I think I will be one day, who knows. Now, let me also take this opportunity to thank those who have been with me in the mountains, those who have never thrown stones at me, those who have not heckled me, those who have not told lies without preference of researching. And most of those who have been talking are people who are men and women of honor. Now, for the IEBC, and I know that our colleagues have been here asking for more times, I don't like writing speeches or written speeches because they always disrupt me when I'm talking. But at least I make some notes. And I also don't like speaking on reading speeches on behalf of others. A man or woman should actually read his own speech and translate the mumble. And we in Roots Party, the so-called Weeds Party, or the marijuana people, we are peaceful people. We are peaceful people. We are not advocating for smoking. And religious leaders, please, I'm thankful to those who came to me and those who are now already pleading with me. Do not confuse society, because some of you are the starting point of impunity. When you talk on things that are not right, you ought actually to do some research instead of coming out to condemn me. I might look mad because of the way I am. I was born this way. Please don't condemn me, but pray for me to look better than what you want me to be like. The IEBC, we have a lot of respect and honor in you. And not a single day have you seen us raise any issue in any of the meetings that we have been with you. But we have raised silently. We have reached out to Chepkati wherever we have to, and we have spoken to him in a silent way. We don't make noise or we don't beat drums. We work indirectly. The media, you are very biased. You report what you want, and that's why, like in the UK, US, where the media is the first and the second estate, because in the UK you have conventional issues under the prerogative of the Queen, where you don't have a lot of writings and impunities. The UK in media and civilized world, the US and the European Union, the media in UK and the civilized world play a leading role in dissemination of information. They play a leading role in the democratization process of the country. But in this country, the media is owned by hell-bent individuals who give them directions on what to do. That's why in my government, I'm going to look at the media and I'll make sure that they're paid properly. I will also make sure that the media becomes participants in wherever media houses they come from. So media, please, don't give us unbiased reporting. We love you. We only sympathize with you that you are paid peanuts, but we shall make sure that you're paid well. As to our presidential candidates, please, and I beg you, you'll never hear Professor Wajackoyah talk against any presidential candidate in a debate. You'll not see me talk about Raila. Raila is an enigma. Whoever doesn't trust and know and respect Raila, take it to the bank. He's a man that I respect because I'm standing in this platform because of the freedom, because of the role Raila Amolo Odinga has played. I'm not trying to say that I'm supporting him, but the good part of Raila makes some of us to stand here in freedom. And yet you'll get some presidential candidates abusing Raila. On that one, I say no. And I've also revoked and invoked in my party, if you are making your speeches out there, do not touch on Ruto, do not touch on my colleague and senior counsel, Mwaure, a good man, a collar, a man who wears a collar, but please speak to your expectations, don't attack me again. And also, William Samoei Ruto, he's a presidential candidate, for God's sake. Let's respect him. Let's respect each other. But if you attack me, I will attack you. I promise that. I will rebut as a lawyer, but I will not be the first person to be doing what has been done. And to our colleague, Lady Justice Njoki, you've played a big role in this country. People may not know, but I know. I've known you fighting with Martha Karua. You are women of honor. I respect you. I respect Martha Karua, women who stood firm in those dark days when democracy was not even seen. And as a presidential candidate, I have to reveal, I have to speak from my heart, even though my voice is gone. I have to give credit where it is. My colleagues and opponents, you are my brothers and sisters. That's why when I was in Meru, I was inviting everyone to come to the podium before I spoke. I invited UDA, I invited Azimio. No abuse took place. Let us cherish ourselves. I know that I've been given 5 minutes, but I'll speak little. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize the government of Serbia as a legitimate government. I will not recognize Kosovo for now. I am with the international community on that point. I am with the Americans on that point. I am with the European Union on that point. And I am with the people of Serbia in solidarity. Finally, when it comes to our international relationships, this is not my voice. Maybe you people might think I've smoked weed. I don't smoke at all. When we look at our neighborhood, our neighbors, our foreign policy is a policy of encouragement. Somalia is there to stay. It will be there. It was there. It will exist until God says amen. Therefore, the people of Somali origin, I'm here to appeal to you wherever you are, and those who are in Kenya especially, that you are part of this nation. When it comes to identification or people's identity, we don't want to have a government of impunity, a government which creates rules for them and rules for us. It makes it very difficult for the Somali people, children of Somali people, to get their national identity cards because they are Somalis. I'm going to extinguish some of these regulations when I take over as president, especially when it comes to issues of extrajudicial terrorism act, which violates the very, very human rights we are trying to uphold, which violates the very, very human rights where we take small boys and girls, because you have suspected them of terrorism, you put them in for 14 days. Is that not discriminating? That's why we've had a lot of issues, and we have had a lot of issues. When it comes to the Constitution, I would rather also say that the United Kingdom's Constitution, which is not written, which is coupled in the Bill of Rights, which works through conventions with the royal prerogative powers conferred by Her Majesty, the Queen of England, which empowers the ministers and the civil servants to look into the people and talk to the people before they make legislation. And that has worked very well. So is the United States Constitution. So when I say that we are going to suspend the Constitution, I have a backing point. Kenyan Constitution is written mayhemly by men and women in suits who fly out of the country, and they come back with very copy and pasted kind of memorabilia, and they ask Kenyans without giving them the right time. I'm equally thankful to the state of Israel. It has to exist whether one wants it or not. And the Muslims also have to exist whether one wants it or not. Israel has always legalized ganja for commercial and medicinal purposes. As also, I'm about to go, we are also going to follow that trend, and we shall not allow our kids to smoke non-detox marijuana, but we're going to support it. And with those few words, thank you very much.
Professors like speaking a lot. I have one in my commission. Lastly, we have a presidential candidate for Agano Party, David Mwaure Wahiga. Please come and take your 5 minutes.
Ladies and it's afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have come here with a real running mate, so that you can see how a real running mate looks like. Allow me to let her just say good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you all.
Thank you. The remarks I'll make will be for both of us. Yeah, her name is Ruth Mucheru Mutua, and she's my running mate. The chairperson of the IEBC Commission and your fellow commissioners, my lady, and one time my colleague in my other profession at the bar, Lady Justice Njoki Ndungu, you are here wearing very many hats, because when I look around, you are the only arm of government that's represented here in an official capacity, so you represent the government in that broad sense. All the spiritual and religious leaders and the elders of the people, I recognize you, I acknowledge you wherever you're sitting, from whatever faith or background. My good friend, Professor Wajackoyah, and my junior running mate, learned friend, who people forget that when he was very young, he was baptized by a priest or a bishop as George. So he is George Wajackoyah. The ambassadors and high commissions and countries that have their presence in Kenya, we honor you. The registrar of political parties, the political parties here, and particularly the small, so-called small but better unfunded, for which my party is one of those, and all the honorable Wanjikos, Aminas, and Anyangos. My name is David Mwaure Wahiga. I'm the party leader of Agano Party, And that presidential candidate, that other one, the other one who has been referred sometimes as the church candidate, but I'm much more than that, I'm the people's candidate. I have very brief remarks. Thank you, IEBC, for inviting us here on this your national election conference. Thank you also for such a powerful and timely theme, moving Kenya towards a stronger democracy. My running mate and I have also not missed the fact that we are not just here to talk about democracy, but we are talking about a stronger democracy. I and my running mate are in this race because we believe we need a very strong democracy in our nation, in Kenya. When Abraham Lincoln defined democracy, he said it was a government of the people, by the people, and finally for the people. We notice that the word for, I don't know, I can't remember where it falls in English, whether it's an article, was said last. And for us, that's where the rubber meets the road, because it's talked of for the people. We face a situation in Kenya where we have lacked stronger democracy. 59 years after independence, our nation is reeling from very high cost of living, high cost of foodstuffs, unemployment, such high external debt, not to mention real hunger and famine in some parts of the country where 59 years after independence, there are Kenyans who are photographed holding a bowl, a begging bowl. But while that is going on, we are losing a minimum, and we in my party don't think billion, so for us in Agano is 2 trillion, 10 trillion per 5 years. But also, while that's going on, not less than Kenya shillings 15 trillion, which would have developed our country and handled matters that have placed us where we are, was said in our 2017-2018 budget as being not only illegally obtained, but illegally stashed in countries abroad. And they don't just keep it, they use it to develop their countries. But Kenya is at its lowest moment. Abraham Lincoln did not envisage this or condone this state of affairs. In our country, we read, and I read, it's written that when King David, the biblical King David, was leader of the nation of Israel, in the book of Psalms, and I know you are people of books, 78, 72, it said of him that he guided, he led, he shepherded, he provided for Israel with integrity of heart and with skillful hands. In our nation, we have not shepherded, our leadership has not done that. That's why we are in this race, and that's where we are lacking in stronger democracy. No, they have not done that. To the contrary, this is what we say in Kenya, that we are in this race because our past leadership have eaten with both sides of the sword. The other way we put it, we say they have not only eaten the sheep, but they have also eaten the kid and the cord or the rope that tied the sheep. Our democracy is not just very weak, but it's in the ICU. On our campaign trail, we are saying, for there to be a strong democracy, let's stop corruption. For there to be a strong democracy, let's return our development money, or money that should have made Kenya a first world back to our country. For us in Agano, this is our sole purpose for being in this campaign. And for you, IEBC, we support you. For you, IEBC, we and the Kenyan people and the international community, we in Agano pledge to keep peace. We urge you, IEBC, not to be But we urge you, IEBC, to be focused and not to allow yourselves to be sidetracked, but to be focused in delivering a smooth and credible elections. That's what Kenyans are expecting of you. We have not been in this road again, so we don't even understand some of the complaints that are being thrown your way. But don't allow yourself to be sidetracked. When I win, and when my running mate and I, please announce our win with red eyes. For my brother, Professor Wajackoyah, we'll see you at the ballot, and we'll also see you at the debates. But there is that little matter. I am praying that when we have won and you join my government, you can one day become a bishop as well. There's that little matter of a bishop you referred is from hell. Please deal with that. There is also the other matter that you'll do away with the Constitution. Kenyans are asking a lot of questions you have not addressed. And finally, you know it's not true. There are processes. Growing of bang is illegal. You are a lawyer like me. Let's be leaders of processes. Let's follow laws. And the truth of the matter is, you can't be a president, grow it one day, and it pays the Chinese or the foreign loan. God bless you. Thank you for inviting us here. Please, we see you at the ballot. Turn out. We will keep peace. Good day.
Thank you. Managing politicians for 40 minutes, I think I've tried. Thank you. I hand over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chairman, for your great moderation. I think I wouldn't have done any better than that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting to the exciting part of why you're here. I know I've kept you seated for a while, but the promise in the next 5 minutes we will be done. So right now, I would like to get to that stage for signing of election pledge by the 2022 general election presidential candidates. I'd like to welcome to, on my right, the representative of UDA and the chairman. Please, the commissioners present, IEBC, and the vice chair, please, if you could join the chairman here. All right, I'd also like to ask the candidates